Welcome back, everybody. It is Smackworth here with some more Halo 2 Deathless content. Today, I've got something special for you. We finally got the Deathless Gravemind video, and the strat starts literally before the mission even begins. So we're going to get into it, and how you avoid death at the very beginning of the mission is to already be holding back as soon as you load into the mission, so that way whenever you come here, these brutes will not end your life immediately. And as soon as you finish them off, you can come grab their brute rifles, and you're going to take out a wave of 4 grunts here. And you want to kill them as fast as you can, because as soon as they're dead, your timer will start. And you can kind of trick this area here. The trick to beating this area is to stand right in the middle of the room to trick the game into thinking that you are not on the left or the right side of the room. So the spawns for the enemies depend on what side of the room you're on. So if the game doesn't think you're on either side, it just thinks you don't exist and doesn't spawn enemies at all. But there are some waves that you can't avoid that are completely unavoidable. And so now that I've skipped a wave, I move over here, and this wave is unavoidable. This wave of 3 brutes and 4 more grunts. And the needler is actually a very useful weapon against the brutes, so it's pretty convenient that they give you one here in the first room, although a carbine or obviously a battle rifle would be a million times better. And so now here what's going to happen is these carbine brutes are going to spawn in random doors up high, and since I'm already up here up high taking cover, I have a jump on the carbine brutes as soon as they spawn. And they do spawn as soon as there's 2 enemies alive on the ground floor. And so basically the strat is to leave 1 brute alive, and whenever his friends die, he kind of goes berserk and drops his weapon. So you leave 1 brute alive who doesn't have a weapon, so he can't shoot at you, and then 1 grunt alive, because usually a grunt won't really be an issue. And now here we come back down to directly in the middle of the room, do a nice little lineup to make sure we're directly in the middle, and we're going to skip another wave of enemies here. And now that we have that checkpoint and we get the Cortana dialogue, that means we can go ahead and move on with our life. And the only thing I want to make sure to do in this room is to pick up that carbine that the enemy brutes dropped earlier. The carbine is going to be my main weapon for this mission. In fact, this and the sniper I'm going to pick up soon are the only weapons you use, besides grenades, of course. And so since this is a deathless strat, the strategy varies quite differently from doing a speedrun strat. And so for this room in particular, I like to clear out every single enemy, just so that way nobody sticks me with a grenade in the back or shoots me in the back or something. And now I want to make sure in this section not to kill too many enemies, because if you kill 3 or more enemies, then you're going to get extra spawns. And so I take that back. If you kill more than 3 enemies, then you get extra spawns. So I make sure to kill exactly 3 enemies, and killing those brutes as allies, so that way they berserk and drop their weapons. So now all I have to do is drop down here, kill 2 jackals and 2 grunts, and I can grab that sniper jackal sniper and go ahead and move on. And I actually skipped 3 brute spawns there by not killing too many enemies. And now in this next section, it's kind of a sneak section. You can let this pack of jackals go by, and as soon as you get this checkpoint and see that door close, then that means you're in the clear. And you can actually skip even more enemy spawns if you don't get noticed in this room, but you have to get really lucky for that to happen. So it looks like I did not get lucky here, and so as soon as I see that door open, I know that enemies are about to spawn in. And honestly, that was kind of a bad grenade on my part, but I really wanted to make sure that that jackal didn't shoot me in the back as I ran away. So these enemies that spawn here, they are avoidable if you don't get seen in this room, but unfortunately it was just impossible with the RNG that I got. So now I have to kill 2 more brutes and a couple more grunts here, and now I can reload on all of my ammo and everything and come to another kind of sneaky room. You can't sneak through this room, so you do have to clear it out completely. Here what I like to do is stick these two brutes, or stick one of the brutes rather, and then shoot the other. I didn't get the stick here unfortunately, but I can still get a pretty nice angle by backing up there. And now you have to kill 6 grunts in this room before you can proceed. So I already killed the 2 brutes, and usually I like to count how many grunts I kill as I go, just to make sure nobody's going to shoot me in the back or anything. Now here comes one of the most infamous tricks of the entire game, called prison skip. And I'm gonna do my best to explain what's going on, but if you really want to know how to do it specifically, I highly recommend checking out guides or asking streamers. So here, what I like to do, this is like a safe way. Like I said, this is a completely deathless strat, so I'm more worried about staying alive than I am about doing it quickly. I can come over to this area and shoot my gun to lure this brute shot brute downstairs, and now I can use the brute shot brute to do the prison skip trick. And so basically, the easiest way to describe it is you have to lure him into the lift, and by how you do that is you get him to melee you while you're standing between him and the lift. So now that he's in the lift, you have to wait for the prison to load below you, and see, I got a loading done there, and so now I know I can do the prison skip inputs. The prison skip combo is like melee and jump alternating with X, just rapidly, pretty much as fast as you can do it. And as long as you do it right, boom, you go right back up the lift and skip prison completely. And now they give you a nice little convenient sword here, and I can do a nice little sword cancel over those elites. And here what I did was I skipped a ton of enemies. So doing the sword cancel over those elites is quite risky in its own right, but the payoff of getting this spawn skip is huge. Like, I skipped a ton of elites, I skipped like 6 elites, I skipped a ton of drones, I skipped 2 hunters, I skipped 2 brutes, and it's all because of like skipping a trigger by using that sword cancel over the elites there. And so now what I want to do is do a nice little sword fly over this jackal here to come all the way to the next area. So that skips, that just saves some time, and as long as the jackal is looking away like he was there, then it's completely safe. And so now there's going to be yet another sniper jackal here that I deal with by going on top of this little like walkway thing, and you get a nice little view of the Enamberclad crashing into High Charity here if you come up here. So that's kind of a little fun thing to do. And now there's going to be a sniper jackal that spawns either on the left or the right side. Which spawn he gets is, as far as I know, completely random, so I just play it safe and I make sure to kill him before I proceed. Now there's going to be a little pack of elites and grunts here that are going to get in a fight with that brute that I just threw a grenade at. So I kind of just throw the grenade to distract the brute and make sure he doesn't shoot me in the side of the head. And now I can just proceed on top of this walkway thing. I guess you could consider this like a skip, since you're just skipping the fight by going above everybody, but it's pretty easy to do. And now I'm going to do yet another sword fly here. I do not hit it first try or second try. Okay, but I do hit it third try, and I want to make sure to kill that brute so that way his ally goes berserk and drops his weapon. And here I do a little head glitch because 2 very dangerous elites are going to spawn on the other side of the door, and I just don't want to mess with those guys at all, so I just do a head glitch and hide. Now here, here's where my Deathless strat differentiates quite a bit from the traditional speedrun strat. The normal speedrun strat would be to do a sword cancel under those drones that flew into this room earlier, and by doing that you can actually fly all the way to the other side of the room and skip this spawn of elites that just spawned in here. But it's really quite risky. If you mess it up even slightly, then you just die. But for a speedrun strat, it's totally worth it because you get a very convenient checkpoint right before you walk into this room. But for my Deathless strat, what I prefer to do is just clear the room completely and then move on. And there are some conveniently placed snipers over there on the right side of the room that I went and picked up. So you have the ammo to do it. You just have to play it safe and play it slow in that room. Make sure that all those drones and carbine elites don't shoot you in the face and just delete you immediately. So that room is actually pretty scary, but as long as you take your time, it it is really smooth. And so here's kind of a little bit more parkour, kind of an easy part here. Nothing to worry about for a little while. You're kind of just holding forward. And I do want to make sure that I have full sniper ammo and full sword ammo, just in case I get in a pickle. You know, it costs you like a second and a half to pick up the additional sniper and sword ammo. So for me, I just go for it. Now here comes another couple of swordfly sections here. I don't remember if I hit this swordfly. Looks like I do. I hit a nice little swordfly to go past these guys, and you can throw a grenade to not only distract those brutes, but get the attention of this jackal sniper here to you know, keep his attention away from you, because the jackal snipers obviously are super dangerous and will just one-shot you. And what I did there is I checked over on the far side of this area to see if there's an enemy to sword fly off of, but since there wasn't, I turned around immediately and just parkoured up on top of the rocks here. And if you take the same path that I just took there, you actually skip a bunch of grunts and like special ops elites and stuff. So if you don't get the sword fly or the opportunity to sword fly there, like what happened to me, then I highly recommend taking the exact path that I took, and you skip a bunch of spawns. It's really safe. I've never died doing that skip there. Now here I can pick up a fuel rod cannon. Not going to need the sniper anymore. So pick up the fuel rod cannon, and I'm making sure to kill all the enemies because they will just chase you down, and I really don't want to get shot in the back. And so I'm just making sure to kill everybody and use the fuel rod to my advantage to just, you know, just one tap everybody, one tap all the jackals. The brutes take 2 taps, same with the elites. Now I can do a nice little skip here by doing a sword fly, and you can take your time with it, although the speedrun strat would require you to not take your time and just kind of go for it. But I can take my time here since I'm going for a Deathless strat, and now we're finally in the final room. And doing that sword fly earlier, as long as you jump early enough, you skip 2 hunters and 2 elites as well. So honestly, and what's cool about Gravemind is there are so many enemies, but there's also really creative ways that you can skip the spawn triggers. So here in this final room, basically my strat is just to take my time, and if I can get the jump on these white elites, I will always take them out first. And as you can see, I'm really taking my time. This area is super dangerous because there's brutes with carbines, there's hunters. Those white elites will, like, one of them has a carbine and one of them has a fuel rod, and they will basically just one-shot you. Like, if you even look at them wrong, they will eliminate you immediately. And what I try to do here is take out the hunters and elites first, and then take out the brutes. If you do it in the correct order, you actually skip another wave of brutes. But it looks like I did not get the skip, so I did actually have to eliminate an additional wave of brutes there. But as long as you take your time, it's really not detrimental at all. And I threw a grenade there to distract another wave of elites that are coming in, and you don't actually get to see them because I just head glitched to make sure that they didn't see me, and because that little pack of elites that spawns in there will just absolutely obliterate you if you try to fight them in close quarters combat. I have seen some strats where you do kill them with your fuel rod cannon, or sometimes even use a plasma pistol, but the strat that I use there, where you distract them with a nade, let them walk right past you, and then sword cancel over the final elite, to me is definitely the best way to do it. It's a nice mix of fast and safe, and that's usually what I go for with my Deathless strats. Kind of a nice, healthy mixture of safe strat that is also fast, and usually I'll have a backup plan, but for Gravemind, there aren't a whole lot of backup plans. All right, well, thanks for checking out the Gravemind video, guys. This one was a long time coming, but I really wanted to make sure that I had like a decent strat down before I really made a video about it. And there you have it, guys. So thanks so much for checking it out. If you made it to the end, I love you. I will see you in the next video, which will be Uprising. So I'll see you there. Peace.